Hey guys, how are you? I'm Ray. Welcome back to my Sims 4 channel. Today I have a build that I am very excited about. It is the most ambitious thing that I've ever built in The Sims 4. It is on the massive lot in Newcrest. I think it's 30 by 40. And it's a tiny trailer park. So each home is very small. There's a total of 4, but they each come with a little shed attached to it, which I think is really cool. And even though they don't have much of a front yard and no backyard, that is for a reason. I end up making this really simple but super sweet community area behind each one of the houses, and I really liked the way that it turned out. I am very proud of this build in general. It was such a big thing to take on, and it took me days to finish because I really wanted to put my all into this build. I've been wanting to do something like this for absolutely years, but I haven't really had the opportunity to do so until For Rent came out. I could have done it before then, but it just wouldn't have worked the way that I wanted it to. So now we can actually have it function like a real trailer park, which is super awesome. I haven't played with it yet, but that's because I have some Sims that I need to create first before I play with this house this lot, because I have pretty much planned out each Sim that I want to live in each one of these tiny trailers. And that's why you'll see each house is decorated specifically for Sims of certain career paths and certain needs, etc., etc. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but for now you can just see that I'm working on placing each house and just doing a little bit of landscaping with some trees. This whole area ends up looking super fake, and that's because of using the platforms, and there was no terrain painting because of using those, which that made it tricky, but I did try my best to make it look as real as possible. And I also made it so that there is a road, or that it looks like a road is going around this whole area. And I thought that was pretty cool. I eventually end up putting some cars from Debug in here to kind of make it look like cars are actually driving around this circle. And yeah, so this build was super ambitious, not just because of the size, but because of the use of platforms. Oh my goodness, you guys, I am not good at using platforms. I have no idea how they work, so I ran into issue after issue after issue. The biggest thing that I think you'll still be able to tell that I struggled with in the end was that on each curve of the platform, you can kind of see that it's not dark, like that dark charcoal gray color underneath. There's like some regular colored tiles sticking out under there, because each time I tried to just put the black down or the gray, it just would delete my entire platform. And I would have to start the build literally from scratch, and I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna do that for something so silly. It's literally just a few pieces of tile that isn't the right color, but it does bother me. I won't lie. You can kind of see it right there. That bugs me so much, but I try to ignore it because I could never do that. If I deleted my whole platform for those little pieces, I would have had to start from scratch. There was no way I would have been able to put a platform underneath all of these houses and the sheds, and it would be an absolute disaster. So I was like, nope, we're not doing that. It is what it is. It is what it is. Just don't worry about it. Don't look at it. But anyway, I'm using some items from Debug here. As you can see, I am starting to work on the area behind the house, which is meant to be a little community area. It has a lot of different things that your Sims can do. So let me think about what I placed out there, because it's been a while since I built this. I think I added some picnic tables. I think there are 2. There might be, I think there's a football and a soccer ball. There are definitely some planter boxes, and I think I added a candle making station. I don't really know why, but I thought that would be cool to have. It's always cool to have activity and like skill building things to put in community areas. So I was like, why not? I never use that, so it'd be kind of cool to have. and I think I have grills and stuff like that. Just really simple things. I kind of tried to make this look like a park, and this is not what it ends up looking like. What you see right now, I had an entirely different vision for this in the beginning, but I end up changing it completely. This whole area was originally going to be a big garden or a fake garden just for show, but I decided that the space could be used for so much more than that, so I ended up deleting all of that, and you can kind of see what it's going to end up looking like in the end. I used these debug fences. I think they're from... What's the most... are they from For Rent, or are they from high school years? University? I'm not quite sure. I'm watching this on a smaller screen than what you guys see, and I can't really tell what the icons are. So I'm sorry if I get the packs wrong, but yeah, a lot of these things ended up being from Debug, and Debug saved my life when it came to landscaping this place because, like I said, I couldn't do terrain painting, so I had to work really hard to make this place look a little less fake and artificial. And, you know, it still does look fake, but it could have looked a lot worse if it wasn't for Debug, so I'm grateful for that. I used these planter boxes and a couple of plants from, I think that's Cottage Living. I'm also sorry if you can hear rain and large trucks driving in rain because I live on a busy street and it's raining right now. And it's a Saturday. No, it's not. It's a Thursday. My goodness. I've had 2 cups of coffee already, and it's only 1:56. It's been a rough day. It's been a rough day, y'all. So I'm sorry if I'm talking too fast, you know, tripping over my words. I have to like exercise patience with myself today. I am getting on my own nerves, so I really hope that I'm not getting on yours. But anyway, I'm sorry if you can hear the traffic, and if I'm a little too hyper for your taste, I apologize. But you can see the backyard or community space is really coming together now. It was really important to me that that area looked good and that it was a fun space to take your Sims. So not only will it be fun for you to play in these houses, but it would also be fun to play as another household and you're friends with somebody who lives here and you get to like bring your whole household over to this area because there's so much to do. I've also thought about putting an easel out here, but I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do that yet. I might go back in and add a few more things. But here are some of the issues that I had with the platforms. Because I have this whole entire lot on a platform and then I put the houses on a platform and the porch is a platform, I had to raise up all of these houses and the sheds and every room up by like 1 or 2 because every room was like sunken in. And so I think your Sims could get in, but I just thought it looked really weird to just have this weird bit of space underneath the door. So I decided to go in and fix all of that. But I did playtest these houses. Your Sims can still get in here really easily. They can still move around. The ceiling is not too low. I ended up replacing some of the doors on the inside because the ceiling came down too low and it would clip the bottom of the I was about to say the chairs of the doors. So I ended up swapping those out so it would look better, and so everything's playable. I tried to play test every single one of these buildings. Everything should be fine, and I am going to put this one up on the gallery. So I haven't been posting my builds to the gallery, one, because I didn't think anybody would want them, but I have gotten a few questions about that, so I guess I will start putting them up. But I also had to change my gallery name to my channel name here because it was a totally different name, so I wanted that to match my channel. So you can follow me on the gallery at RaellySims, so that's a thing now. And the only thing is that you have to have custom content checked. All of my builds are flagged as containing custom content, even though they don't. So I don't know what to do about that, but you'll definitely want to keep that in mind when you go to my gallery page because I don't think anything will show up except for some of my really, really old and horrible builds if you don't have that checked. But yeah, here we are in the first little trailer home. So this is a trailer for a young woman who is, I think, either a yoga instructor or she is about to become a yoga instructor, and she's also enrolled in university. So her style is very, I don't know what you would call it, bohemian, I guess. I don't know. I'm not very good at knowing what certain styles are. Again, I just know what I think personally looks good. But I did give her some wallpaper behind the kitchen appliances. And the reason I did that is I thought maybe the person who owns all of these things will let you come in and paint like one wall if you want to as like an accent. So that way it's really easy to just cover up, but you can still add a little bit of your personality. So some people did paint either a wall or a room. So there's a little bit of flexibility in that. Not every house is just plain white. So there's this really pretty leaf wallpaper behind the kitchen. I was about to say the kitchen wall. On the kitchen wall. I just wanted to do that to give each trailer a little extra personality, and my idea was kind of that some people in this trailer park plan on being here longer than others, so this is a sim that really has made the most of living here. She likes this trailer, she likes the area, so her home is a lot more decorated than the house next door. I don't think the house next door is the one that we show next. I think that's the third house that we end up decorating, but you'll kind of hear my idea behind that house a little bit later on. But yeah, so some of them have a little more decorations, some trailers look a little more lived in than others, and I do have more stories to tell you about each person who lives in these trailers, so I'm excited about that. But we're pretty much done in here. I really liked how it turned out. I love the green and yellow, very pretty. The chairs from Dream Home Decorator, I think it is, went so perfectly with the color scheme. I was so pleased with that. But you know what? I changed my mind. I'm actually going to start telling you guys about each household that belongs to each one of these trailers now. I don't know why. It gives me something else to talk about while I'm doing this build. Because if I don't talk about these Sims, then I'm going to end up talking about my life, and you guys don't want that, I'm sure. So the first house, as I mentioned, is for a yoga instructor. The second trailer, which is next to her, is going to be for a young musician who believes he's going to make it big, so he doesn't really think that he's going to be in this trailer park for very long. He really doesn't like it or respect it. His home is not very lived in. It's not very decorated, and he even has boxes in his trailer that he refuses to unpack because that's how long he thinks he's going to be here. He thinks he's only going to be here for a minute, but I think he's in for a little bit of a rude awakening. He might end up being the one that ends up living here the longest, who knows. But the third trailer is going to be for a single mom and a young daughter, and the mom is a florist, which I thought was kind of interesting. And the fourth trailer, which is my favorite, is going to be for a fortune teller who has lived here the longest. My idea is that she has lived here for like 10 years, so she runs her business out of her trailer and her little shed, and she has the most decorated house because everybody or the person who owns this area was just like, you know what, you've lived here for so long, just decorate it however you want to, it's fine. So her house is crazy compared to the three other trailers, and I'm so excited to show it to you. I had a blast putting that together. OMG. I think it was because it's so different from my typical building style. I'm so excited for you guys to see it. I think it would be kind of cool to do a let's play of the trailer park, so let me know if you guys would like to see that, and if you would like to see it, let me know if you have any ideas, because I've never done a let's play before, so I don't really know what stories to tell or what to do. So if you have any ideas, they are welcome. Any and all ideas, please give them to me down in the comments below. I would love the help if you guys are interested in seeing that. I just think there is potential with this little trailer park, so we'll see what happens. But we're putting together the porch area now, which I used these cute little love seats from Pastel Pop. So that was cool. I don't get to use those all that often because I don't think they look super comfortable, but they worked for a nice covered porch, so that was cool. But since this is such a long build, I know I just made fun of myself a little bit and joked that you guys don't want to hear about my life, and maybe you really don't. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know. But you know what? Even if you do, that probably won't stop me from talking about my life. I have nothing interesting to report right now, to be perfectly honest, but I did want to talk about the book that I've been reading because I mentioned that in one of my builds, so I kind of wanted to update you guys on it. So I read the first page, the first sentence of that book. The book is called Horrid. It is by Katrina Lino, I believe is the name. I'll pop up a picture of the book cover for you guys to see. But I read the first sentence and I was hooked on it. Absolutely hooked. It's such a bizarre opening. And it's a bizarre little theme that takes place throughout the entirety of the book. I think I'm about 200 some pages in. I'm really close to the end, and I'm ready for some really creepy stuff to be happening. There hasn't been a lot. There's been a little bit of spooks, but not enough. I want something scary. But there's some interesting things going down, and I have no clue what's happening, really, to be honest. Definitely, there might be some ghostings. Yeah, they're getting on social media, the ghosts, and they're ghosting people. The ghosts are ghosting. Anyway, there's some ghost things going on, but I definitely think there's some mental health elements happening, and there's a big twist coming. I can feel it. I know there's supposed to be one, and I feel like they're withholding information from me, so that way I'm like, oh my god, that's what's been happening all this time. So I'm eager to find out what the heck is going on, but I want some scarier things to happen, because not a lot has happened that's scary yet, which is really unfortunate. The scariest thing that has happened is that there was some phantom piano music playing and there's the sound of somebody running up some steps or in an upstairs hall or something, and that's been it. There hasn't been a lot of creepy things going on. So I don't know. I want a little bit more scary things to happen, but I will update you guys. I will continue to update you guys on this book and let you know if it's any good and if I think you guys should read it, because I know there are some of you out there that like horror. So I will absolutely let you all know what I end up thinking of the book. And what else have I been up to recently? Not a whole lot. I did bring my TV into my bedroom. So for the longest time, it has been in this room, and I just don't watch it a lot in here because over here to my left, I have a monitor. So there really wasn't any use to have a TV in here too. So I decided to move it into my bedroom, and it has been a freaking game changer, guys. No joke. Every night before bed, I watch game theory, I watch Sims builds, I watch TV, actual TV shows. One of my favorite shows ever that I've been rewatching, it was on CBS. So one of the things that you guys should know about me is that I'm a huge comedy lover. I love sitcoms so much, and one of my favorites was called Superior Donuts. It lasted for 2 seasons, unfortunately. The second season is still really good. It's not quite as good as the first because they got rid of some characters, but it's such a good show, and OMG, you guys need to watch it. If you guys have Paramount Plus, please go watch Superior Donuts. Unfortunately, we can't bring it back. I mean, maybe we could. I don't know if enough people watched it. But, I just think everybody should watch it. It's really, really good. It's based on a play, I think. I've never seen the play, but it's basically about a young guy who gets a job at a donut shop with this older guy, and they kind of form this unlikely bond, and I think it takes place in Chicago. I could be wrong. I don't really remember. But guys, it is so funny. It is the funniest show that I have ever seen, and it is an absolute tragedy that it did not last more than 2 seasons. It's just heartbreaking. Anybody else out there love comedies? If you do, please let me know what your favorite sitcom is. Don't say Friends though, because I don't like it. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sure I broke some hearts out there just now, but I don't like Friends. I have seen a lot of sitcoms in my day, and I think Friends is the favorite of people who don't really watch a lot of sitcoms. I could be wrong, but I don't like it. I don't like Friends. I like the underdogs when it comes to sitcoms. There's a show that I really like called Wings, and Friends pretty much led to the cancellation of Wings, and I'm really bitter about it to this very day. So that might be another reason why I don't like Friends, because it got one of my favorite shows canceled. But yeah, I really like Frasier. Frasier is my absolute favorite sitcom now, which is insane. I didn't think that I would like it as much as I do, because to be perfectly honest, I don't really like Cheers. I'm a big sitcom lover, but Cheers has just never done it for me. I don't think it's funny. So I was really surprised when I decided that Frasier was like my favorite show ever. I ended up watching it in preparation for the new version that they recently put up on Paramount Plus, because I just thought it looked good. So I started watching Frasier for the first time ever, and it's excellent. Absolutely hilarious. The best sitcom of all time. You can fight me. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Niles, bless his heart. I love him so much. It was funny. I was actually talking about Frasier with my grandmother. I think it was last year around Christmas. And I asked her if she liked Frasier because we were talking about sitcoms. And she goes, poor Niles. And I thought that was the funniest reaction ever. He is my favorite character. Okay, I've went on about Frasier for too long. I'm sorry. When I get to start talking about my sitcoms, I cannot stop. So I apologize. But we are working on the home of the single mom with the little daughter, and I didn't mention this earlier, but I pretty much thought that the little daughter likes to read. She's a very creative, very imaginative, very smart young girl. So she gets this cute little play shed, which I thought was so cool. The mom has tried really hard to make this home feel special. I imagine that there's something that happened to these two that they had to get out of their old home really, really quickly. I don't know what, but something has happened, and that's why they're living in the trailer park together. They don't expect to live here for very long because the mom is wanting to open up a flower shop, but she has to live here for a little while, and they're just trying to make the absolute best of it while she gets her business going. So that was kind of the plan. This is the musician's house that I was telling you about, and I imagine this guy to be a little bit of a butthead. I'm not gonna lie. He's like fresh out of college, and he's a little bit snooty, and he thinks that he's gonna be a big star. And so he's in for a little bit of a rude awakening when he really struggles to get his career going, and he's gonna live here a lot longer than he thinks he is. So that, I think, is kind of a funny storyline. So his house is very basic. All of the decor that he has, which is just a shelf and a little plant and stuff like that, I imagine his mom and maybe his sister pretty much is responsible for the little bit of decor that is in this house. And something cool that I did, and I haven't shown it yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. I used a little bit, I think they're from the Basement Treasures kit. I used some decals to put on the floor, which are just scratches, and basically I laid them out from I think they go over the porch, through the door, down the hall, into the bedroom, because I imagine that he's just kind of like this punk kid who's just like, I don't really care what happens to this place, and he just drug his entire bed frame from the porch into the house. Like, he didn't ask for help, so he just drug it in there and scratched up all the wood. So that was kind of my idea, just to like add a little bit of personality. You get a vibe for how this sim is going to behave in real life. And I kind of had the idea that maybe he starts to like his neighbor, the yoga instructor, but she just really doesn't like him because she's like a super nice sim. So that's kind of the idea. I've thought so much about this trailer park, more than any other build, I think. I had so much time to think about it because I spent hours every day for like 3 to 4 days working on this thing, and I just wanted to tell, even if I never do a series on this, I wanted you guys to be able to look at the build and kind of get an idea of the story behind it, you know? I love when people take the time to put the storytelling in the details of what they use to clutter up the builds and decorate and stuff. So yeah, that was kind of the idea. But I also gave him a rice cooker. I don't know why, I just really wanted to use that item because I've never used it before. Well, first of all, I love rice, so I'm like, I'm gonna give him a rice cooker. But I don't play a lot out of build mode, I've said that before. So I don't, all the stuff that came with like For Rent, I don't even know how For Rent works. because I've never played with it. I've never gone outside of build mode since I've been given for rent. Shout out to Whitney. Black Essence, she's my bestie. We just did a collab together and she actually gifted me for rent, which was super sweet and just absolutely made my day. And she didn't know it at the time, but she had gifted that to me when I was going through a really hard time. So it was like such a blessing. Did I say a blushing? I meant blessing. I don't know. Sometimes I think that I say things weird, and like it probably isn't that bad. If I just brushed it off and just didn't say anything about it, you guys might not notice, but I'm like, I said that weird. I should correct myself. But whatever. Okay, so now we are working on the fortune teller's house. Oh my gosh, I love this house so much. So this is what it ends up looking like at first. Ignore that. I tried to use the paranormal wallpaper, which I really like, but I just wasn't vibing with it. And I think it's because it was a little bit outside of my comfort zone. I wanted this to have color because I think that she definitely has personality and likes color, but I also wanted it to have my signature neutral vibe as well. And so I ended up changing this wallpaper from paranormal to cottage living, and I think that turned out really, really cool. And I always like using different packs to create, what am I trying to say? Let me think here. I have a thought and I need to figure out how to put it into words. I don't always like using the packs that you'd think we would use to create a vibe for a certain type of sim. So I think it would be too easy to use everything from the paranormal stuff pack to create a house for a fortune teller. So I decided to go think outside the box and use a couple of different items from different packs. And we definitely do utilize paranormal stuff, don't get me wrong, but I still wanted to just put my own spin on it. And so this is where you can really see what the house is going to end up being. I did use the couch, the love seat from the Book Nook kit. Listen, if you guys aren't new here, if there's anybody who has watched my other builds, you've probably seen this in every single build that I've made, which it's my bad, okay? I'm obsessed with this thing. I cannot stop using it, but it just fit the vibe so well. Look at how well those pillows match with the curtains and the wallpaper. It looks good, doesn't it? I think it looks good. I love it. So I put them together in like an L shape, and then I sized down a end table from Cats and Dogs, and then I ended up rising up a lamp. I think that's from, I want to say it's from Paranormal, but I think it's from For Rent. It looks like it would belong in the Paranormal pack really well, but I think it's from For Rent, and I love the way that looked, and it just kind of like finished that area off, and it would be super convenient to have a little tiny end table right by your couch like that, where you could just like lean back and put a cup. I think that'd be so cool, actually. So I'm tooting my own horn a little bit. I think I did a good job. But this is my favorite house out of all the houses here on this lot. It's just so fun. And like I said, this one's super decorated. I just imagine that she's been here for like 10 years and she's been a really good and faithful tenant. And they're just like, you know what? You deserve to decorate this house the way you see fit. And that's what she did. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. The wallpaper is so cool. And the thing is, lighting transformed this particular build. So originally I was not vibing with this room at all, and then I went into live mode and just set different settings onto the lighting, and that really made everything feel a little bit more spooky, a little bit more mysterious for a fortune teller. That helped a lot. So I ended up doing that. I added this cow plant item. I've never used that before. No, I actually used to play with cow plants a lot, and I don't remember why, but that was a long time ago. But I have not played with a cow plant in years, guys. And I think that's probably because my sim got eaten by one, and I probably was really bitter about it. So I probably just like swore it off and like, I'm never playing with cow plants again. So that was a thing. But yeah, we're about done with the living area. We're just adding a little bit of finishing touches here and there. A coffee cup, some books. I kind of imagined that those were like, not spell books. I don't think she's a witch, but I don't know, just like books educating her on her career. You know, I think that's always something that's helpful, no matter what you do, to have books around based on your your job and helping you out learn more things, and you know what I'm trying to say. It's always good to educate yourself, you know? That's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, we're pretty much done. We're going to be moving into the bedroom shortly. I did cut out all of the decorating when it comes to the bathrooms of this build, and that is because they all are pretty much the same, except for this one. This one does end up looking pretty different, but I'll show that to you in a minute. But they're all pretty much the same. Bathrooms are super boring. I don't like making them. You guys probably don't like watching me build them, so I just decided I was going to skip on that and save a little bit of your precious time, because this is a long build, and if you have stuck with me for this long, we're 30 minutes in, God bless ya. Thank you so much for listening to me and my excitement over this build and listening to my love of Frasier. You guys are super sweet. I every time I upload, I'm like, why do you guys watch me? I genuinely do not understand it, but it's been such a blessing. I can't say that enough. Uploading this channel has been what I needed in my life, and it's been awesome. It's been so awesome. I love The Sims, and I love uploading to YouTube. I've always uploaded to YouTube in one way or another, but this is the first time that it's felt right, and it doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like such a nice creative outlet and just pure fun. I can't stop thinking about building. I can't stop thinking about making videos, about commentary, about uploading to this channel. It consumes my brain. But in the best way possible. I am somebody who overthinks a lot, so having this to put all of my focus onto has been so wonderful, something good in my life. So thank you. Thank you so much for watching and just supporting me. It's been incredible. And I don't even think I'm that good of a builder, so it's really insane to me that you guys would watch these videos, because I just am never satisfied with what I put out there. Like I say, I always watch back and think it's better than I thought it was while I was building, but it's still not spectacular. Like, I try not to watch too many other simmers builds, because I get really discouraged and I think, oh my god, they're so much better than I could ever be. Which is like, I need to get over that, because I want to support my friends, but I also don't want to be too hard on myself because I'm not on their level. But yeah, that's a constant thing for me. But anyway, I've blabbed too much about how wonderful you guys are and how great you are and how I'm so thankful for you. But let's continue on with the build. You can see that I've worked on the, I want to call it no, it's a porch. I keep wanting to call it a patio. I don't really know what the difference is, to be honest. A patio isn't on a platform, or it doesn't have to be, right? I don't know. I've been thinking about getting a book based on like architecture and stuff, so I can like educate myself on what I've been doing, because like I don't know what anything's called and I feel dumb. I just be like, oh, that's a fence, that's a platform, that's a this, that's a that, and yeah, so I don't know, I feel stupid. But anyway, I've been decorating, and you can see I put a lot of effort into making her house look really, really appealing. She's got a bunch of signs to lure people in, to be like, hey, there's a fortune teller here. You just walk up to this shed and I'll give you your fortune, you know, that sort of thing. So I wanted this yard to look really pretty and enticing, and like, boom, here we are, baby. So it's a lot more in your face than the other yards that are on this, I keep wanting to say platform. I mean, it is on a platform, but are in this trailer park. I was about to say neighborhood. It's technically a neighborhood too. I don't know. Again, I'm babbling so much. I'm sorry. But I also really loved this shed. OMG, it's so cool. It's very similar to the inside of the house. I just thought it made sense to like reuse the same wallpaper, and it's gorgeous. Absolutely love it. I used that picture from Paranormal Stuff, and I love that picture so much. It's so cool, and it really brings the whole room together. Oh, this is beautiful. This is the one thing that I'm like, I love it. I love everything about this room. I love the combo of the, I want to say teal, but it's not, I don't know, teal green sort of color with the gold yellow. So pretty. So pretty. Absolutely love this build. But now we are moving on to the screenshots, you guys. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed this build. I'm quite proud of it, if you couldn't tell already. I'm not the best builder. I'm not trying to say that I am, but I'm just so happy that I was able to start something and actually finish it. Like, that's what these videos have helped me do. I actually finish what I start now, which is freaking awesome. So thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you have a fantastic day. If you want to see more content from me, then please consider hitting that subscribe button and thumbs up this video if you also like trailer homes. But until the next one, bye everybody.